Morning, prosperity every day, October 28th. Chronic spending. Some of us are chronic spenders. We earn enough, but we overspend. Our bucket has a hole in it. Whenever we have money, we feel compelled to run through it. Solvent, we can learn to build our savings, spending on our futures. Well, that's plural, on our future. Anyways, um, yeah, one of the best things that I am put into my routine is giving, so that I feel like I can be a little frivolous with the giving. Um, and it's with the Dave Ramsey again, and whatever budgeting system you download and put on your phone and put on your apps and put on your laptops and computers and wherever. Good God, if you go old school and just go to the frickin' bookstore and grab a ledger and put it in writing, whatever format works for you, but get it to somewhere where you can log it. But in the Dave Ramsey format, the first one is income. So what is the projected income for the month? And the second one is giving. And it just I know that tithing is a hot topic. It literally drove me out of the church that I'd been attending for, well, 4 or 5 years, but that's here locally. But I've been a part of that church for almost 30 years. And 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 I fluctuated with my tithing habit over the decades. For many years, it was very, just put $5 in the pot, when the basket came around or whatever, and maybe $10, and then maybe $20. Um, and I think I started to equate it to like a movie. How much does it cost to go to the movies? $20. Throw a 20 in the hat, man. But but there were definitely times where I made a decision to do a for real tithing, and it was always perfect. It was always perfect timing for the tithing, because I ended up getting into some hard places and experiences that made money really tough. And ultimately I could see how that tithing practice really helped me through those processes, through those hard times, ironically. Um, and I've been pretty serious on the tithing for 6, 7 years now, and I just don't even hesitate. It's literally the first thing that's in the budget line items, and I've got a great deal through my work where they match. If I donate $1, I think I think this year they even went up to 70 cents on the dollar. So I donate $1 and they kick in 70 cents. So, if I end up donating $1,000 to an organization, they get another $700. That's huge. And so it's cool that I can impact how much a major corporation puts out into the community. That's really kind of cool. Um, but so yeah, I do. I've got a community oriented charity that I donate to consistently on a month by month basis. Um, and I've also got a nonprofit spiritual center that I kick in a monthly to, and then I do seventh tradition as part of my um, uh, tithing process as well. And it typically, I like to I like to kick it up to about 11%, and it's of my net. It's not of my gross. I know Dave Ramsey's donate, do 10% of your gross, and I was like, oh, that's a little tight. So, I'm shaving here and there, and that's okay. It is what it is. Um, I don't do Dave Ramsey perfectly. Not at all. It's like everything. I take the suggestions that make real big sense for me and I leave the rest. But I do, let's say, 70% of it. Definitely the majority of what Dave puts out there, I do. And it's working phenomenally. Um, but as far as spending on our future, um, that number one thing is take care of the tithing. So that relationship, that spiritual relationship with every dollar that comes through my hands is the first thing. And then it's bearing down on the debt. And I am 2 months away from being debt free minus the mortgage. And the mortgage isn't that heavy. So I'm super feeling light. I'm getting some payoff of that delayed gratification. It's been about a 7 year stretch to get totally completely debt free minus the mortgage, and it's right around the corner. Very excited. Um, and here's the thing that I haven't done perfectly as far as Dave Ramsey is concerned is that I have continued investing in my future throughout this process. I imagine it it could have, you know I could have paid off that student loan quicker had I focused on it 7 years ago. But I was still buying into the concept that I might be able to qualify for that forgiveness thing. But whatever, that's all gone. Thank God. Nailing it, taking care of it. I've been paying on it strong for about 2 years now, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. And I've paid down, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 grand, something like that. I was close to 60 grand and now it's at like 30, I don't know, 36, 37. So that's almost half, close to half paid off in a few years. Fucking nailing it. Excuse my F bomb, but I do I do get a little jacked up about that thing. But it's all on me. 100% my doing. I'm not a victim. Um, but I've been consistently investing in my future um, through this whole process, through the whole 7 years. Um, when I first started my job, I was buying stock consistently. I still do now, but it's super tiny. Um, and and I shut my 401k off for a while, and I was only donating, or I was only buying into a 403b um, through teaching. So there was a chunk of the teaching that was being put into savings, and that turned into a nice little chunk over the last 5 or 6 years. Um, and so I haven't done a day perfect. I had a hard time not putting anything in towards the future. So is what it is, and good God, I saw a video yesterday about the average and the median and the current state of 60-year-olds in the United States, and that over, well, just under half, 49% of all Americans have no savings. None. Mind-boggling. If that's true, and he showed his sources, and it was the Fed and some other couple of sources that seemed reliable, so I'm gonna go with it. I didn't double check it. I'm not a fact checker, whatever. Um, and this data was from 2022, I believe. But they interviewed, I think, 1,100 people, and this was all 401k money. But so over, no, well, just under 50%, so 49% of 60-year-olds have no 401k. None. They might have a little more savings, whatever. This is just 401k info. And, so at that time, I would have been included in that because I didn't have a 401k. I had a 403b because that's for, nonprofit educational savings accounts, um, not true corporate savings. But anyways, um, but I fell into the median, not the average. The average, because the tippy top savers throw it all off. Um, but the straight median is where I'm at. And that made me feel okayer, you know. Um, and it's mind-boggling, like because I just feel like I've been a loser my whole life, a major under earner, and really irresponsible, and that was the case for the first, you know 20 years of my earning life, say from 20 to 40. I was a ding dong, and I pursued a completely irrational, crazy career track, you know. And I sort of knew that. I honestly did know. I mean, I knew the figures. I knew that it was astronomically unlikely to create a livelihood out of that profession, and I spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars going to school for a career that in all likelihood would never happen, and it didn't. So I am absolutely one of the statistics of those people who have, and I kind of cringe whenever I see all these, all this malarkey about going after your dreams. You gotta have a dream, go after your dreams. And if your dreams are connected to an industry that doesn't provide a livelihood for 97% of the people pursuing that dream, it ain't a dream, it's freaking insanity. But, still do it. I'm not going to deny it. Go do your thing. And, you know, it's so clear to me that I was just running up a tree that had no way out, no way to nothing. There was no way of me actually creating a livelihood out of that industry. I didn't have, I had a modicum of talent, a little bit of talent, a little bit of decent good looks, um, not stunning, not particularly anything, not character actor enough, and not leading a man enough, and also personality wise, you know, I had a lot of issues, and when an actor has difficulty memorizing lines, there's an issue. And when an actor has issues on stage, relaxation and nervousness, and, I had a lot of issues. And it just wasn't going right. But my ego had me stuck in there for a long time. And I had a couple of moments that blipped out and like, hey, this is, whoa, it might happen. But, just grateful, grateful, grateful that it's all gone. And especially even the teaching, the old if you can't do it, teach it. And there were some great moments in there, but overall, again, I did not have the skill set to do that profession in a way that allowed for a personal life and balance and all that stuff. I am well suited for my current livelihood. It is social, it is super low stress, super low responsibility other than showing up and being in a good mood and being happy. being nice. That's really my job. And being being aware of how to help, you know, see my supervisors, see my managers, how can I help them? See my colleagues, how can I help them? See the members, how can I help them? And do that for 7.5 hours, 8 hours a day. And a couple, 3 shifts out of the week, I sit in my car. I don't know. It's just, it's a great gig. And I just didn't have the personality set. I was too much of an addict, too much of an A plus guy to do this in my younger years, you know? The ego was way too big, and just grateful that I'm here. But so, the future looks way okay, you know? If I just stay this course, you know, I'll be living in a nice little house in a beautiful area, literally one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And it's got everything that I love. It's home, got winter, got hockey, got family, got 4 seasons. You know, it's a small little big town, no highways, you know, couple-hour drive to get some big city feel. Got 2 huge cities nearby if I really need that big city vibe. And you know, got a solid community of spiritually minded recovery folks. It's got a great recovery community here in town, so life is good. That's a lot of chit chat. So, I don't know. Prosperous. It's here. Have a good day.